Welcome back. Transit, ICE, energy, transit, I already said that. Lawmakers passed a flurry of legislation that could alter life in Illinois, and it happened while you might have been sleeping last week because it was like at 3 or 4 in the morning that they passed all these bills. And here to recap some of the highs and lows is House Republican leader Tony McCombie of Savannah, Illinois, which is just south of Galena. You just reminded me of Leader McCombie. Thanks for speaking with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's start with the transit bill, $1.5 billion. You were upset that it's going to take money from the road fund, hundreds of millions, for maybe downstate projects and bring it to Chicago for transit. Is that what's really going to happen here?
Yeah, and I'd actually argue it's 2.5. So there's you have a $230 million problem that only in Springfield, Illinois, will you pass a $2.5 billion bill. But yeah, absolutely, it is going to take from downstate. So in 2019, the Capitol bill, the gas tax, had a negotiated how the money was going to be spent on roads and bridges. As you remember, the Safe Roads Amendment.
And there's like a lockbox.
And there's a lockbox.
The money, so it's the gas tax, a portion of the gas tax goes in the lockboxes for roads, bridges and stuff.
Yep.
Although transit, couldn't that be part of, isn't that considered part of what the gas tax is spent on?
Sure, but that's not how they sold it to the public. And also, 20% of new revenue at that time was sent to transit. And then the rest was going to go to roads and bridges for the most part. So it really is a slight. They literally took all of the money that for the sales tax, took that to zero, and then said, we're going to give you only 15%, and it has to be spent on transit, no longer in roads and bridges. So
does that mean there are projects in your district or other downstate districts that are just not going to get done now?
Certainly could. And also the other problem is they are relying on $200 million for the earned interest on the balance. So where is the motivation to spend down that almost $5 billion in the road fund? Because they want to make money on the balance. So yeah, there's a few problems there. They should have dealt with the $230 million shortfall. They should have fixed the governance, let the new board come in, find efficiencies, and go forward from there.
Yeah, but they were saying they wanted to do something transformational and not just fix that shortfall, which had been over $1 billion or near $1 billion and then down to $238 million. I want to talk about some of the other bills. Energy, they passed a clean energy bill that is supposed to increase investment in battery storage for some alternative energies. And they say it's going to bring down these skyrocketing energy costs, but you're saying it could actually bring them up?
Well, absolutely. You have a $8 billion investment over the next 20 years, and they say it's going to bring down the cost. That energy bill does not generate 1 ounce of energy. What it will do is take 3 gigawatts and store it, and then that's about 4 hours.
Gigawatts, which is less than gigawatts, right?
I'm not, that's not my
well, I'm just quoting the only scientist I know, Doc Brown, from Back to the Future. But anyway, you said gigawatts. It just reminded me of that. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so absolutely. And then it's the rate decrease. You know, we're all seeing rate increases right now. The rate decrease will be in 5 years. So how do you tell somebody, hey, I just voted for an $8 billion increase, but you're going to see maybe a discount in 5 years from now? And it's just not going to happen.
Right to die, medical assistance in dying. Something that's divided physicians, I know. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate. Here you have, whether you're Republican or Democrat, I think it's a nonpartisan issue. It's whether it's personal. The most egregious part of that was they took it in the Senate in 3 o'clock in the morning. And they had plenty of time, the first week of veto, all day that day, but here you do at the middle of the night when nobody's paying attention. And actually, it was a pretty interesting vote. It certainly had bipartisan opposition, and you're just hearing that the governor is reading it and considering whether or not he'll sign it. And I hope he considers not signing it.
Another thing he's considering, which he probably will sign, definitely will sign, are these restrictions on where federal immigration agents can carry out, not near churches, schools. We saw the daycare today where they had chased, allegedly, a woman into that daycare. Is this something that you would support? I know you've asked the governor to perhaps rethink the whole sanctuary state status.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to remember how we got here, and that's the Biden sanctuary policy, or the open borders, and now the expansion of the sanctuary policies here in the state. I wish that the governor, he says he wants to get rid of the worst, but then let our law enforcement work with the feds so this doesn't get so blown up and out of control.
Some political questions here. Last night, seemingly a bellwether for what the midterms might be like. Did Republicans kind of take it on the chin a little bit?
Yeah, well, they're Dem states, they're blue states. I didn't anticipate anything other than what we saw. Illinois is certainly more blue than red, so I anticipate that that's going to continue for us, especially under this awful map that we have.
Do you expect a competitive gubernatorial race? There are a couple Republicans that have filed to run against Governor Pritzker.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we stay on target with our messaging, and that really is the cost of living. You know, a lot of folks are talking about the races last night, but you still hear media talking about what's most important, and that's the cost of living. So if we stay on message and don't go to the far extremes on the right, and the left continues to go to the far extremes on the left, especially embracing socialism, I think we might have a better year than we think.
All right, Republican House Leader Tony McComey from Savannah, right near Galena, in that beautiful area of Northwest Illinois. Thank you for being here in Chicago with us.
Thanks for having
Good
me.
to see you. And that is the show. Thank you so much. We are back tomorrow for another Chicago Report. Stay warm, everybody.